Okay, I'm recording. Does that mean you're recording? Are you just sort of chilling over there?
I'm still really obsessed with my new style of comedy that I've been developing on this podcast is no and. And so whenever you start recording, I just let you sit there and just feel your skin crawl a little bit.
It's a very interesting rhetorical technique. I feel like that's something some people do just, in job interviews or maybe like other conversations where you're really trying to feel someone out is like wait for them to engage first, especially if the power dynamic is such that like, because obviously generally you and I trade back and forth opening the pod, but like, it leans slightly towards like a welcome, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And so for you to not give me an opportunity to like figure out where we are throws me off my feet and leads to fresh, zippy comedy that, people
Well, the
people
fucked
love.
up thing is that the other part of it is I'm actually also trying very hard not to interrupt all the time because this process has taught me that I interrupt everyone constantly because I think deep down I think what I have to say is better than what they have to say, and I'm trying to really nip that in the bud and be less egotistical about it. But the result is that instead of just being deeply uncomfortable and silent,
right? Okay, yeah, I'm not sure which of those I prefer.
It's just like this complete twisted serial killer type behavior.
Yeah, there's got to be a middle ground where you just behave normal. Is that an option for you?
Either I'm trying to punch up your joke as you're saying it, or I'm making your life flash before your eyes through uncomfortable silence. So
disoriented. It's interesting because I've said this about YouTube, and one of the reasons why I think it's so poisonous for creators that find success on it, because if you're famous, like if you become famous for something, and it's the same if you're a musician or an actor or maybe an artist, I don't know, they're all troubled in very specific ways.
I consider all of those people artists, to be honest.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. That's quite good of you. But like, it reinforces the worst aspects of your personality because if you grow up convinced that you are talented in some capacity, becoming famous reinforces the fact that you were right, and it's quite possible to sort of lose sight of any humility that you previously may have feigned. But in particular, on YouTube, it's so raw. Like, if you become famous as an actor, you might know, like, okay, well, I had a great agent and I got a part in this great movie with a great script, and and there was great costumes. And if you're not a total dick, you can maybe understand that like your success is part of a larger ecosystem in which you only play a smaller part. But if you get famous on YouTube, it's generally because of like you and the thing that you did, and you edited it and you shot it, and it's all you, and you're famous because you are a genius. And so those people are like particularly damaged and have particularly inflated egos.
And you're saying
this podcast is kind of the same thing for you.
You're saying this as a successful YouTuber.
Yeah, I'm saying this as a completely proper mental successful YouTuber. But I am worried.
I don't know if you did this on purpose, but you just did an inside joke for me only.
I did. But now you pointed it out. Now people are going to wonder.
No one knows. Well, yeah, it's good. I want them to feel like they're missing out.
Right, that's good. If you hadn't pointed it out, people wouldn't have realized that there's, again, further layers to this podcast that they don't get to participate in, even if they pay us. But what I'm saying is the podcast success has in many ways, I think, reinforced your worst characteristics. Like you live your life on a Twitter account that is constantly like quoting you and like, talking at you about the sort of many levels of your genius, and so I'm worried that this humility that you're feigning by like not talking for 10 seconds at a time is like very much an affectation that will just dissolve.
I'm not feigning. I'm genuinely trying to stop interrupting so much, and it's making everyone uncomfortable. So I think I just need to babble always at all times.
I mean, I'm looking at the waveform right now, and I think I just talked for like 5 minutes.
You did,
straight.
and that's the other
you
thing.
Just sat there and enjoyed.
We need to. I put a cough candy in my mouth. I got a little scratchy throat right now. But I think
you have to have something going on.
We both need each other. Our guest this week. I'm just going to start saying who the guest is if it matters.
Wow, that's fucked up, man. I don't know. Oh, it's okay. It's fine.
I know we didn't bring it up in the board meeting, but our guest this week is this electronic music artist named Slow Magic, and he is selling masks. Like, he wears a mask. I don't even know his name or identity or location because he just wears a mask all the time. And really, in a lot of ways, aren't we all just wearing masks all the time? But that's a thought for another day.
Holy shit.
But he's selling masks that light up. Like, his mask lights up to the music, and he's selling them on a website that he plugs later. I forget what it was, but he was testing them out.
This is like a really bad piece of promo, but yeah.
It's not. That's why it's not promo. I'm promoting us right now. But he was testing it out at home, and he said he put on the pod to test the mask, and it was great because we never stopped talking. Just like a constant barrage of babbling.
He's
and
like,
so
oh,
that's like,
yo, this mask is sick.
I think we need to just, that's the thing, is if we listen to each other, then the podcast gets much slower paced, and we need to really keep up the aggressive, the dick measuring competition that is this show.
I always find, like, if I have talked for, like, a little while, and then, like, it's a point where we're doing, like, semi-thoughtful discussion, so I ramble for a little bit, and then you're like, yeah, and then you talk for a while, and then I, like, look at Twitter because I'm not paying attention to you, and then I realize that while I was talking, you were tweeting, and I'm, like, somehow mad at you even though I'm doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, or also there's times when I've listened back and one of us will make the point to the other that we've already we'll respond to the point that they just made by saying the point again. Yeah, it's incredible.
Isn't that? It's like we're just constantly heap-eating each other.
I wanted to rewind to something that you said earlier though, because I don't think that actor you described exists. I don't think there's ever been a successful actor. Yeah, like they're all pieces of shit. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's true. I just want to believe that somehow like there's someone out there who's like not a YouTuber, you know? Or
basically,
is Matt
as soon
Damon
as you're
just
successful,
a YouTuber? Is like, you know?
Wow, yes, definitely Matt Damon is a YouTuber.
I don't know.
Without question.
He's the only actor I can think of. I've only ever seen The Legend of Bagger Vance. Yeah, and I've seen Jimmy. But Jimmy Kimmel's more of a television personality than a movie star.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's a piece of shit too.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
Any form of success makes you a piece of shit, and never succeeding makes you a hero. And so I guess what's happening is like as the podcast gets more successful, I'm slowly becoming a bigger and bigger piece of shit.
That's tough, man. But like it's fine because like you have the money to keep you company instead of your morals and ethics.
The mountains of money. It was all worth it.
Now you were recently in Banff, weren't you, Josiah?
I was recently in Banff.
Did I pronounce it wrong or something?
No, I just no.
Okay, so I was just thinking, like Banff is, like you live in Calgary, right? So like, when you go to Banff, wait, did you already have a thing for this?
I see what you're gonna. Yeah.
Did you have a thing for this? No, was it better?
Not really. I don't have a good one, but
do you have a bad one?
I haven't said on the pod yet that we're moving to Montreal.
Shit! Okay, so we're announcing this, eh?
Yeah, because we finally finalized the lease and everything. Everything's been topsy-turvy in every facet of my life in the last few weeks. And so we finally signed the lease. Everything's ready to go. But now that means that we're like, because we're moving in suitcases, so we're literally getting rid of everything we own. And it's fucking awful. Like, it's really, really bad to deal with people on Kijiji or on Facebook Marketplace. Like, I think that they just want to say, hi, is this still available? Just so that they can, like, talk to someone or something. Just feel this connection. It's like it seems like a really bad, like, McSweeney's article or something about, like, people who just go on Marketplace to feel something.
Doesn't it feel like maybe like a mumblecore movie from, like, 10 years ago or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
Is this still available?
Yeah. Oh my god.
And it's like
starring a third Duplass.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, there's like somehow an extraneous Duplass in there. Yeah.
Man, fuck the Duplasses.
Wow. Shots fired at the Duplasses. Come at us.
Yeah. Bring it. But yeah, so everything's utter chaos. But I just was very philosophically and sincerely about this song title. What is interesting is as soon as you decide to move, something switches in your brain where all of the stuff that annoyed you about where you live becomes so much more intense, and you're just like so ready to be in your next place.
Yeah.
And so I would like to say, please take me home.
Should we? We can leave this part out, but can we mention the fact that like you're literally moving into a nation apartment in Montreal?
Yes.
Okay, so then we can leave that in. So, like, this is how, like, in terms of the sort of, like, tendrils of the podcast, like, I just had the pleasure of hanging out with the hair editor when she was in Toronto for wrestling, and now you're moving into, like, a nation affiliated
Yeah, we're taking
apartment.
We're taking over Kristen and Matthew's lease in Montreal. So, yeah, it's, like...
So wild.
It's fucked because it is, like... There is very blurred lines between friendship and pod. You know what I mean? It's like these people don't feel like our fans or whatever. It feels gross even to say that. They're just like our friends.
Like at this point, like I mean, there are people that are like, yeah, part of this whole thing, and this is like every time I get like emotional and sincere after we've done a live show and I've like had too much of the pen before we pod, where I'm like, we are all best friends. Like every one of, and then we like make a sarcastic joke about how like nah, just kidding, we just want your money. But it's like no, we are best friends with all of you.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing between interrupting and being awkwardly silent. Is it's hard to find that equilibrium.
No, I don't know what the middle ground is. The middle ground to me is like if you are listening to this, like we are tight bros forever. That is just our relationship.
I'll kill. Hey, if you're listening to this right now, I'll kill for you.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
Everyone listening to the pod gets one kill from both Josiah and I. So that is
two.
That's 2 kills.
No,
so
we'll
use them wisely.
we'll both do it so that we can sort of like have an alibi and cover it. So it's 1 kill between 2. You get half a kill from each of us.
Yeah, half a kill, but like one, but no sign because we are good at covering our tracks because we're probably amazing contract killers.
I think I'd be pretty bad at it, considering just sort of generally like trying to find the car insurance sheet so I can sell the car or those kind of things. They're lost everywhere. I mean, maybe I'd be good as a hired killer because the path I would leave behind would be so like disastrously messy that they would be like, we're never going to figure this out.
Right. Or it would be so obvious that they'd be like, well, this person's obviously been set up. Like, who would murder someone with an Alfred E. Newman Funko Pop and then try to sell it on Facebook Marketplace? Right. Still fresh, covered in blood.
I can't remember if I know I've said it somewhere. Maybe it was on here. I'm sorry. And then I know there are people that I know who listen who are like, yeah, you've told that story 3 times. But you know what? I've talked for 3,000 hours at this point. But my family's car was stolen when I was a teen. Did I tell you about this?
I mean, I don't remember, but like, I am not a reliable resource when it comes to the history of the podcast.
Right. My family's car was stolen because I was too lazy to bring in the amp after a hand show when I was a teen. And our neighbor, who had carved the word corn into his arm with a knife. I feel like I've said this before on here. He was like this sketchy Abbotsford guy. You know
who's playing in Toronto tonight?
Corn?
Your friend with the... No, it is Corn. It is. It's going to be like, that guy. He's successful now. Yeah.
He's not my friend. I just think it was him. I don't know. But the car was stolen, and then they found it, and the amp was gone, but they found it in like a alley, and the cops were like, it really looks like someone's been living in here for a while. There's so much like garbage and dinner plates and stuff, but it was just like that was all my stuff.
Now,
my mom was so mad at me.
You definitely have said that story before, but I don't know that I remember the detail about the like no laughing matter, obviously self-harm, but the corn thing is like gives it a sort of grimly humorous undertone.
I don't think that carving corn into your arm with a knife is considered self-harm.
I don't know. It's pretty
in my
harmful.
book. It's like, to me, it seems like self-improvement, but right. I guess that's...
Yeah, that's true. It's like going to the gym, like getting abs, getting your corn scar.
Corn scar. Sam, please take me home by Blink-182.
Yeah. This song rocks, eh?
Does it? Do you like it?
Yeah,
was it on your iPod?
This song was on the iPod. We can maybe talk about this in terms of sequencing. The one thing that I find baffling about this song is that it closes this record. Like, it feels like a really fun track 8, but somehow this is like the final statement before we get to all the sort of individualized joke songs, which like even when I was listening to it, I was looking at it, I was like, wait, is this... I had to go to the Wikipedia to like check and see if that was correct. Although also in searching, like, please please take me home. Take off your pants and jacket. The second autofill after album is meaning, which I found very funny. Like, there's so many people on Google just being like, "What's the joke here?" And
I like the idea of it being called "Please take off your pants and jacket." Like, it's a more polite masturbation request.
Somehow it's worse though, eh?
Yeah, it's a lot creepier.
Now, please, now that you're in my home.
So, are you saying that it's not like epic enough to be an album closer? Because to me, a track 8, I agree that this is a track 8, but that's why I kind of think it's a little bit fillery.
I don't think it's. I just think it's like a good, interesting song, but like even just like lyrically, it just feels like kind of light. And I maybe I'm like putting a bunch of meaning on like last songs, especially from this band, that don't necessarily exist. But I do kind of feel like if we go back, like we think about "I'm Sorry" or we think about whichever like anthem, right, that ends "Enema," and like those feel like kind of statement songs that sort of wrap up aspects of the record. And this feels like a real, to me, it's a delightful trifle, but that's kind of all it is, but
a delightful trifle.
Yeah, that's my official starting take on the song. But like, again, this was on the iPod. Listening to it, I was like, this song fucking rocks. Even though the lyrics are bad, I kind of feel like, because as we sort of have started discussing on the pod, I loved to be in the friend zone as a teen, and decided that I'm just going to use that phrase here. And so, like, I felt like I related to this as a kid because I was like...
I feel like you don't see people performatively complaining about the term friend zone anymore, now that they're dealing with, like, Nazis and...
Yeah, things got so much worse so quickly, eh?
It used to be, like, you'd log on Facebook and just see some, like, terrible Upworthy comic strip about how, sing the friend zone, and there's, like, a group of, like, really shittily drawn people with, like... colorful hair, like they all look like bronies, and they're like hanging out in a shitty room in the cartoon, and they're like, boy, that girl put me in the friend zone. And then it's like a speech bubble that's like 3,000 words long explaining why that's problematic, and everyone's sharing this comic strip because that's activism, I guess.
Yeah, totally. But like, what is the non-problematic term for like, for no matter what, like any gender, any orientation of like, you know, having amorous intentions with someone who likes you but only wants to be your friend? Like, is there shorthand for that isn't like somehow tied to the worst aspects of online culture? And by that I mean slacktivism, not like Gamergate and Nazis or anything like that.
I'm trying to find it because like that's something that's been happening lately.
Are you getting friend zoned a lot, man?
Yeah, I've been getting friend zoned a lot by people that I thought were fans of my podcast, but they're my friends, and it's really confusing. It's fucking me up. No, I've been trying to be more careful because I've also started running the Exclaim Twitter, and there's like slang words that I'm like, to me this word seems okay, but what if I use this word and I find out that it has this like history that I didn't know about, and then I get dunked on by stars or something. I don't know, like whoever follows us.
Dude, Torg is in waiting. Does he know that you're running the account yet? You know?
Yeah, exactly. But so I've been looking, and it is actually really helpful. You can search almost any word and find a whole etymology and figure out that, like, yeah, every single word is extremely ableist and bad. Basically, any form of calling something bad has an ableist history usually. And then you just start to think philosophically, like, maybe I should just be a more positive person.
Right. If you're like, wait, so if negativity is so loaded, yeah, maybe it's just good to celebrate things. Are you worried that you're going to post like a Chongo tweet and then get called out for something that sounds like a slur?
Exactly. And Chongo is a slur, I found out.
No, but didn't we figure out it's a slur like specifically that like Polynesian people use like against the Spanish?
Well, still, I mean, I don't want to be doing that.
I guess, but it just feels like I think it was like born of some like hyper regional racial animosity that we have nothing to do with.
Well, all I'm saying is I can search a word usually and find out like, oh yeah, here's the history. At least then you know, and then if someone tries to call you on it, you can be like, oh, I was putting an A at the end of the word, not a. No, I'm just kidding. But. So I just Googled the friend zone, but unfortunately,
what is this, Cumtown? Sorry, go ahead.
It's been clickbaited so much that all of the SEO is just like Vice.com. The friend zone isn't a thing, and women don't owe you shit. A public service announcement, and then it has Joey
thanks,
from
Vice.
Friends. It has the image is Joey from Friends, the least problematic show of all time. I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I
don't
never
know,
rewatched
like,
that show, but I'm sure it was totally fine, and there's nothing regrettable inside of any of those episodes.
And then, meanwhile, on the Change My View subreddit, which is always a good place to start, Change My View. The friend zone is a valid concept. Uploaded by, I think the user's name is Sam Sutherland with no vowels in the last name.
Oh, shit. Like, you hear me just frantically typing, you're like, oh, it's gone. I can't find it. That's so weird.
I guess just friend zone is one of those terms that's so tied to a specific kind of shitty person that it just can't be used, even though the concept itself makes sense.
Yeah, it's just,
but
it's
then
like
you're just getting into semantics.
Yeah, it's exclusively used by a certain type of like dude. But there's got like maybe by the end of this or like next time we're like trying to like invent new slang because of like some weird Blink 182 trash poetry, we can like revisit the concept of the friend zone.
So I guess it was just like unrequited love, right?
I mean, yeah, but that's such a long term.
Yeah, and also like not to constantly be turning these phrases into a Jerry Seinfeld bit, but have you ever heard of requited love? I don't think so.
No, that's true. But it also feels like something like that your mom would say. You're like, oh, unrequited love is so sad. You're like, shut up, Mom!
Call it the friend zone.
Yeah, you're not with it.
You're not with the 2004 Tumblr slang that I use.
Yeah, your mom sends you one of those comics. You're like, oh no.
Yeah, she's still on Upworthy.
Yeah,
so good.
Mom's doing activism now.
Webcomics have got to be the worst genre of all time.
Yeah, what's the
of just anything of anything that exists?
They all
just
look like
be
the
awful.
cancer one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a disgusting format. Okay, so I feel like you want to talk about the lyrics.
Please take me home.
Yeah, here's what I think. I've never even like considered this song. Like I don't remember it ever. It feels like filler. So listening to it this week, I do think musically there's some interesting stuff going on, but I hate the chorus. In general, I don't love the. It feels like, I guess, a 50s like doo-wop chord progression, but then put into the pop punk thing, and it just honestly sounds like HGTV punk again to me. It sounds totally. I mean, this whole song, actually, every part of the song sounds like a different kind of like bumper music for reality TV, and so some of it's cool because sometimes you're watching TV and you're like, "Damn, that's a good riff." But it still just sounds very generic to me, and that was before I even paid attention to the lyrics, and they're fucking awful.
Well, yeah, and you didn't. You don't think that this song sounds a little bit like Fugazi?
Yeah, that's what, and that maybe that is what makes it a good last song in the sense that, in the way that Anthem went into Anthem Part 2, maybe he already had this grand. Well, he obviously did have this grand plan, so maybe he wanted to close it with that to go into it, and like the start kind of sounds like Fugazi, like just having a repetitive octave chord.
Totally, there's like about 2 seconds of this that sound like Fugazi, but then like the rest of it is obviously extremely not. Although it made me really like think how sick it would be if Fugazi had a song that was about like really liking a girl who doesn't like you, but then she does like you, and then you go on a date, and then like you don't stay together. And you're like, that would be the most exciting Fugazi song.
Yeah, imagine Ian MacKaye being like, or it'd even be better if it was Guy Picciotto being like, "She's cool, she's hot, she's my friend." Like, just like with this like reggae beat in the background. Oh, what happened? I thought you were.
Hey, man, sorry about that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, totally. It just was dropping off, and then it just like completely dropped.
So there's a little interruption here where
you thought I was thoughtfully listening, but actually Skype had fucked up, and I was like, "Where the fuck is Josiah?"
But what I was saying was, I would love to hear Guy Picciotto be like, "She's cool, she's hot, she's my friend." Like over top of some like shitty dub.
One of my
Are they doing dub?
Oh, yeah, they're definitely doing dub. That's one of the things that they are doing. Like one of my favorite Fugazi songs is on the Kill Taker, "Sweet and Low," which is like an instrumental song that Joe Lally, the bass player, had written, and it was about his divorce, but it was like too emotional. He never was able to write lyrics to it, so it's just this like very like kind of beautiful and stark instrumental song, and like I like the idea that that's the Fugazi version of a breakup anthem. Is like, it is too much for me to contemplate the loss that is our union, and therefore boom 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 boom.
What do you think this?
That's how the song sounds.
What do you think the song that's like, "This is my birthday pony" is about? I think it's probably about a birthday pony.
That's the thing. I don't think they're a pretty literal band, right?
Well, that's why Tom DeLonge is in the same vibe. But yeah, what totally. Sam's referring to is in.
Yeah, they're all like the sons of they're all like kind of rich kids, right? Like everyone in because they're all like the children of whatever ambassadors and like.
Oh yeah, because didn't they go to school with Brett Kavanaugh or something?
Yeah, like these people are all rich, so they definitely like were singing about their birthday ponies.
So everyone's obsessed with Beto's punk cred, but the real true punk is Brett Kavanaugh. He went to
That's
school
this
with Fugazi.
podcast mission. Yeah, it's like, let's celebrate the punk credibility. Like, because also, who's more punk, Fugazi or At the Drive-In, like the fucking Mars Volta, like.
Well, also, like, not to mention, most of what Brett Kavanaugh has been accused of is unfortunately very punk in a lot of ways. I mean, those things happen in the punk scene. So
right, yeah. So it's kind of seems like, about right.
Yeah, he's no more or less punk than any of the others. This is dark.
That's true. Yeah, we gotta object to this. So okay. So you hated.
So
this
what
song.
you're referring to is when you talk about Fugazi is in the Toy Page
what does
tour
that
program.
mean?
Tom said, "This is just a fucking mess. Like Tom just needs to shut up."
I read this and I was like, "Talk forever, Tom, please."
Every boy falls in love every once in a while with a friend of theirs. I'm going to say girlfriend. Whoever's transcribed this has written a girlfriend, but I don't think Tom wrote that. Not a dude friend, unless, of course, you like dudes, and that's fine, too. I think that's a kind of, like, joke in the middle of societal progress where you just, like, say a gay thing but then say that's okay, too. It's, like, the opposite of doing no homo, but either way, it's, like, like it's kind of just, like, you're just being shitty. He's not actually saying, like...
Look at us trying to be so polite now that we've like established this part of it. No, but it's like he's ostensibly like being like, the normal thing where you like a girl, and then he's got like a new part of his brain that is emerging, which to be honest, that's what progress is. Saying like, but by the way, like to be Seinfeld again, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right, but it's just so uncomfortable. It reminds me of when people are like, I'm not racist. I don't care if you're black or white or fucking purple, and they like throw in a color to show like how absurd it is that you would be anything other than white.
Yeah, they're like, that's how I see anyone who's not white, is you might as well be beyond purple.
You could be fucking plaid for all I care. It's like, well, what you're saying is probably much worse than just treating someone with dignity. But continuing what he wrote.
I've only ever seen Terror once. And that was sort of my experience with Scott Vogel was that it would be like, we don't care if you're straight edge, you're drinking beers in the back, terrorists for everyone. And you're like, okay, cool. And they'd be like, we don't care if you're like sucking cock, you're an F word, just slamming dudes in the back alley. Terror is not homophobic. And you're like, what? I don't know, man. Like,
that happened. Was that on the Converge tour with Cursed and Mayor?
Yeah, that's 100% the only scenario in which I would have seen Terror. So yes, and it was at the Opera House. It was so sick.
Because that show at Messaluna in Vancouver, he did the exact same kind of speech where he was like, I don't give a shit if you're fucking some dude in the ass.
Yeah,
in some disgusting.
Yeah,
it's
another dude's fucking you in the ass.
So unnecessarily graphic.
Yeah, it's like a Kevin Smith bit at some point.
Yeah, totally. It's like ponying the brown area for sure.
Yeah.
But delivered with sort of a you have to see he's coming across like Kevin Smith, but then when you imagine him as more of a Kevin James figure, then he becomes more endearing. Right. It's fine.
That's interesting. That's how you rank the Kevins, huh?
Yeah, I mean Kevin James is just a little bit more you're kind of like he's doing his best, and that's how I feel about Scott Vogel.
That's nice. So okay, the rest we've been talking about a quote that we have not got to for like 20 minutes. So.
Anyway, this song is crazy influenced by one of my favorite bands, Fugazi. This is one of my top fave songs on the record. I think it sounds so cool. It just has a cool groove to it. Next record will leave more songs like this and Stay Together for the Kids. These songs are fun to play. Oh yeah, girls take hearts and eat them. Beware, dudes. That is so like Emily the Strange sounding at the end.
Yeah, this is when he was like starting to get gothy, eh? Like he had read like a couple of good comics.
He invented Makeout Club and MySpace with that quote right there.
that
like those two
quote?
things were born. Yeah.
I mean,
Tom thinks like I just still am. I need to talk to Tom and I need to talk to Ian Mackay so bad. I need to understand am I misinterpreting Fugazi? Am I misunderstanding Tom? Like, how does Tom, other than I guess just the rhythm at the start, the halftimeness, and the octave chord, this song is just First Date, basically, with some bells and whistles.
You know, I also think you kind of hear what you want, and like on some level, if you're being honest, like with your writing, you're always going to just sort of sound like yourself, and for him, that's in this era, that's kind of First Datey. But like, I can understand, like, you know, we have like there are like songs on the last Junior Battles record where I'm like, yeah, this sounds like the Constantines, and there is no way that it sounds anything like the Constantines, because if you've heard Junior Battles, we don't sound a hell of a lot like the Constantines. But like that was where my brain was when I wrote like two parts of the guitar part. And then you're like, right. Okay, cool. Everyone's going to hear that and understand it. And so for him, look at that, like the way even the drums are is kind of, it does feel like you could understand someone thinking that's what they were doing until they started talking about, she's cool, she's hot, she's my friend. At which point, we as a listener are not paying attention to the instrumentals. We're only hearing, she's cool, she's hot, she's my friend. I have been friend zoned.
So already you can't just have a friend that you think is cool and hot. They owe something to you in that scenario. PSA,
Tom, the girls in their songs don't owe you anything.
You see this big fluffy bear with bangs and spacers in their ear that I drew? They're here to tell you that what you've just said is problematic. I didn't spend 3,000 hours pencil crayoning this shitty drawing to not have you learn something here, okay?
It's true. Your dedication to learning is incredible.
I do think "Oh No, It Happened Again" is an amazing opening line of a song, for sure.
Yeah, like you're like, man, what happened? And then he's like, a girl is hot. And you're like, fuck, you let me down, Tom. Like, you thought he was going to have something way crazier to say?
The pre-chorus is really good, actually. I like the stabbiness of it, and I do like when Tom sort of uses, I want to say, $4 words or $3.50 maybe. Mm-hmm. They're not like $5. They're like words that like you used in grade 4, but you know he's still trying to be verbose, and it's kind of funny. And ending it with the word "wrong" is like the pre-chorus is really smart, actually. Like I think that's why this song seems really clever, and then the chorus hits, and I'm just like, ugh, so bad.
Yeah, the chorus is the worst part of the song. But like the
Where
rest
does he
of it,
say
the rest
something
of it's
about?
Pretty good.
I think the other part that's really horrifying is, why did we have to go date?
Yes,
it's too easy to complicate.
Yeah, but the problem is that comes over top of such a sick bridge. Like it gets so groovy there, and again, I'm sure that they thought it sounded like Fugazi, but it sounds like very bad ska. It's like ba-doo, bo. Boo, boo. Yeah. It's like you're like,
it kind of sounds like Chili
Peppers
to me.
Yeah. It's very, very chilly in that part. But like in terms of just even like the opening and this idea of being like, oh, this girl is my friend, but I have a crush on her. Like that to me again, like not to like lean into any of the horrible PSA side of things. Like it does really evoke like a time in your life where you're like learning to feel shit beyond like hungry and tired, and that you're experimenting with these different like more complex emotions and like, like romantic feelings and stuff. And the idea that you're just sort of constantly like putting out like hormones and jizz into the world and being like, if someone is like sexually like, compatible with you and like likes one thing you like and has like a halfway decent haircut, you're like, this person is perfect and I would die for them. And if they listen to the pod, I want to make this clear, I would.
That is true.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Are perfect.
But like, it's just this idea of like, oh no, what happened again? What happened? Like, a cool hot girl is my friend, and you're like, oh shit, dude, I know what that's like. And like,
I guess, like,
I don't know. Like, I feel like when I was in high school, I like had a crush on everyone. Like if you were a cool hot girl before I met my wife, like I probably listened to the song and was like, damn.
But like, doesn't this feel like one of those more going away to college-esque fake versions of that, whereas the real fucking heartache is on Dude Ranch, where they're talking about, like, when they're talking about relationships on Dude Ranch, you can feel the angst because they are so close to being teens, whereas Tom is like, I'm sure Tom is also looking at a chart or a graph of what boxes he needs to check off, and the friend zone community wasn't fully satiated yet by this point.
This is their anthem. Like, how many other songs are there sort of so specifically about the plight of many online men in 2008 or whatever? But don't you feel? I feel like the difference between this and going away to college, which, like, good God, whenever we get to that song, it's going to be a fascinating slog where I reveal.
Everyone's so angry already about it.
But it's what has historically bothered me about that song. Historically, of course, I'm speaking with great. Really matters what I'm saying.
So it can't be her story.
Oh shit! Yeah, God.
Let me draw you a comic strip about this.
By the time this podcast is done, we're going to have no one left to kill for.
Oh, I would actually love if there was a new account that was like really preachy, shitty webcomics based on Blink 155.
Oh, God. That's entirely too much work. I hope no one does that.
Come on, do it. You want to be in some sort of webcomic ring or something? Yeah,
if you were already thinking about starting a webcomic, maybe this is it.
The word ring used to be associated with like GeoCities and stuff, but now if you hear that someone is part of a ring, it's never good.
Yeah, there are no good rings anymore. We should start a ring. Maybe we should rename. Let's rebrand the niche.
Rebrand the ring.
Rebrand the ring. Oh, hey, you in the ring? We're like, oh, yes.
We've uncovered a ring. That's what Blink 155 is. It is a ring, and people uncover it. But instead of finding something horrifying, they find something just sort of uncomfortably odd.
Yeah, it's true. It's totally fine. But no, I just feel like this song is like a little more, vague and feels like emotionally. I just want to make this clear. I'm using this word appropriately. Like emotionally retarded. And it's just like, oh, she's cool, she's hot, and we are friends. What? Why did we have to go date? Like, you're like, yeah, this is how you were capable of communicating those emotions. Whereas, like, going away to college always felt like just too much of a, like, rose-colored glasses of like pictures in lockers and. Like gym practice.
I like it better. Gym practice.
I know. I was really hoping we could move on very quickly from that.
No, I don't know. The more I talk about this song, sometimes they win me over, but I'm really starting to dislike it more and more.
Is it me? It's because I said gym practice, right?
No, I liked that part.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. I don't like how it's like. It's just so uncomfortable how they're trying to make an experimental sounding kind of almost emo song, but also they can't stop making like bad generic first date style pop punk. Like it's just kind of all over the place, a mess, and it starts off so strong.
Oh man, why did we have? I'm just looking at why did we have to go date again? It definitely like never quite reaches the peak of the opening, although. Before and like inclusive of at the very least the bridge melodies, it almost gets there. It almost gets there again. When he goes, "Let's go," and then they go. Oh boy.
Tom is so wonderful.
He really
it is cute that Tom thinks that this is like it's just cute when Tom thinks that he's being punk and he's really just being the biggest dork ever. He's been like a dorky dad since he was like 23 or something.
Yeah, totally. But like, why again? Like, I would love to hear them speak specifically to the sequencing on this, because like, even though I like it, I agree with you. I just think like it's like a weird whimper to end this kind of like one of their great. I mean, all their records are so great, but like one of their great and iconic records. Like, could you not have ended this with like "Every Time I Look for You" or? I don't know.
That's like the thing about this album is that is how I feel about it, though, is that like when these songs are on, I either like them or am indifferent towards them. But then when I look at the track listing, I'm just like, none of these, I don't know, like Shut Up and Roller Coaster and Every Time I Look for You, like those are good enough songs, but they don't speak to me. Like I don't see the name and I'm like, I need to listen to that right now.
Yeah, it's funny. I was like having the same reaction sort of when I was trying to reach for what the closing song should be, and it was just like, oh, all of these songs feel like really good track 8s. Like it's sort of it's an 8 record.
I do think, and I don't want to talk about it right now because it's going to take forever, but I do think Reckless Abandon is probably an all-timer for Tom.
That's
maybe
so fucked up, man. It's a fucking wild thing to say.
The song was originally apparently called Jessica. And there's a video of them playing it for the first time live that, like, I don't know. I don't even know if it matters. Apparently it was different, but I listened to it and I'm like, so I would have to transcribe the lyrics from this video and then put them side by side with Genius in order to figure out what's different about it. Like, that doesn't seem very rewarding.
What are you talking about? That absolutely seems like the sort of work you would have done, like, up until a week ago. Like, what has happened, man? Are you busy?
I don't know. Yeah, I am busy. And also, like, they didn't say anything funny. I don't know. There's other shit that I want to show you instead. That's better. Before I get to that stuff, that might make you mad. There's this video of them playing it in 2002 on the Pop Disaster tour, and it's really good. And it does like there is, even though I think you're right, this album is all track 8s pretty much. I think, and okay, wait, let's talk about that for a second. What do you think track 8 is? What is a track 8 to you? Because, okay, for me, even when I was sequencing the prenup album, I thought about it a lot. Like, track 2 should be a notable one. Mm-hmm. And then track 7, obviously, is track 7.
Yeah.
And then I thought a lot about the closing track, too. But track 8, I feel like, is that just where... I mean, it's filler, right?
You're hobbling off, like, the best song is track 7. And then track 8... You're coasting through the glow of track 7. So you can put a song that's like fine. Like if you have a really good record where none of the songs are truly terrible, track 8 is where like a fine song goes. That like it's coasting, right? It's drafting off of the success of track 7.
And so, yeah, I mean, so many of these songs do feel like track 8.
Yeah, totally.
Not in the sense that maybe they're all coasting off of just Enema of the State.
Yeah, the whole thing is just like one giant 8 for Enema's 7.
I'm trying to see what's number 8 on Enema. Oh, well, a piece of shit. All the small things.
I mean, look, the exception that proves the rule, you know? But like to be honest, Blink is often, I feel like, avoided. Like maybe this is why they've stood the test of time, because I was thinking like I can't remember if we got into this the last time we talked about sort of track sequencing and like superstitions or truths about which songs are good. I always found track 3s to be pretty shitty because, as you mentioned, track 2 has to be a banger, right? So track 3, I often feel like more than track 8 is like a dud where you're just like big opening, incredible track 2, and then like a trash song that doesn't matter, and then you start picking it back up again at 4 until you get to 7, and there's a slight dip, and then you move towards the end, right? And track 3 on Dude Ranch is fucking damn it, and I can't even remember what track 7 is. So,
yeah, I mean, that's true. Also, I think the thing we're forgetting is that they were really annoyed, I think, with their situation when they were making this album, because they talked a lot about how like the label wanted, First Date on the Rock Show exists because the label wanted some hits and they wanted to make something different. So maybe there was this turmoil, but I still kind of doubt that someone at the label was like, hey, you need to take this Fugazi song and just make it a lot shittier and make it like way worse.
Yeah. Although I will
it's
say,
not shitty enough.
Again, in Googling the album name to get the sequencing right and seeing meaning as a suggestion, which I then clicked on, is like, sort of sitting in Take Off Your Pants and Jacket as a joke for a minute again. I was like, this is a very funny thing to name one of the most popular records of this era. And I truly still think that. Like, it's such a bad, dumb joke, and it was such a popular record with people whose parents, like, maybe might not have been comfortable with them listening to a record that is just one masturbation reference.
That's so true. Well, revisiting the era, here's them playing this song on the Pop Disaster Tour.
You guys ready? Travis Scott's Dead Bodies 2.
Mark is all over the stage. Like, there are so many punk jumps. He's behind the drums. Oh, Tom sounds so good. The song is great, man.
The song is quite bad, but all of those signifiers make it like the best bad song, I think.
Yeah, the chorus
like
is the chorus is awful. I've come around on the idea that the chorus is so bad, but I think the rest of it is fairly sick.
It's true. It's just very bouncy and punchy and like has that sort of almost Third Eye Blind feel to it in a way.
Oh, yeah.
Also. But something like, yeah, the way that he's playing the octave chords at the start on the recording and live is just like so inimitably Tom.
Yeah,
and it's just
yeah.
like there's something about it that's just like magical for a second.
No, I agree. Like, just watching this, like, you know, you can hear, and even the way he's, like, singing at this point, like, he's still not a good singer, but he's trying, and there's, like, the, whoa, like, there's some really hilarious operatic Tom shit going on here. And it also looks
really
like, again, the other thing about this era, like, there's just, like, a close-up, I still have the video running, and, like, you know, like, Tom has what looks like 6 sort of cabs behind him, but at the very least they're all mic'd. Like, if you see that now, it's just like all stage shit and everyone's, you know, like using whatever amp presets on their iPhones side stage, and no
the
one's
guitar,
playing
like the guitar,
it sounds like a real fucking guitar.
Totally. Like, it sounds muddy and kind of bad, but in a really good way. Like, when you had a friend that you were in a band with whose gear was so much better than everyone else's and they refused to turn down for the rest of the band. It's like kind of like that. Like, and I feel like that's what I would want a concert to be. And that's also why, like, as someone who appreciates that and who appreciates the first 2/3 of the song, that's why the chorus is so much more frustrating, because I know that he just wrote it in 10 seconds.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, totally.
Sometimes when I'm writing a song, when I used to do that, I don't think I'm going to do that for a long time, probably, because I'm too busy deciding if I should transcribe the lyrics to a live video or not. But when I would do that, I would think, I don't want this chord, even though most people aren't going to notice, I don't want to use the same chord progression I've heard a million times. I want to change it slightly so that at least for me, I feel happy about what I've done. And I know that Tom usually does that. That's why the chorus feels like such a cop-out.
Right, so, like, this literally is, you know, demonstrably lazier songwriting than, like, he's normally doing.
Yeah, and even the other 2/3 of the song, he's, like, being clever. And then that is just, like, he needed a chorus, so he just, like, shat some bullshit out.
The pre-chorus is
shit,
so,
I guess.
Yeah, the pre-chorus is so good, though.
It is really good. So, I want to ask you, why do you, like, the phrase, please take me home, why is that I just don't even understand why it's a phrase. It's so, like, literal, but there are so many songs called Please Take Me Home. And it's just, like, a phrase. And never thought of it before. Like, in what, I guess, yeah, it's like you're bummed at a party or something, but that doesn't even seem to be, this song doesn't seem like it's about being bummed about a girl at a party and saying, please take me home.
Yeah, like, especially when I read his, like, description of it, I was like, wait, is the please take me home, like, about, like, trying to get someone to, like, want to have sex with you, where you're like, please take me home? Or my original interpretation of it was just, like, sort of like a, like, end of the party, like, because there's some of that, like, this is the best time we ever had. Like, it does feel like this high school nostalgia thing, and, like, someone gets too drunk and is like, please take me home. And you're like, okay, that's fine. But in the context of this, the way this song is written, I truly do not understand the usage of the phrase. Like, oh, the iconic phrase we all know and love when you like a girl who doesn't like you back. What?
Right, or just in general, that phrase, please take me home. It's like, no, what does that mean? Like,
yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. But there are tons of songs like with that title, and I did write down some. Yeah. So
you've never said to someone, "Please take me home." You've never, like, back when you drank, you were never like,
Oh well, no. That's why I had to stop drinking. That's why I had to stop drinking, because I've never said that before. Please take me home. The night has never ended by my own choice.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, yeah, it's just like, it's such a nothing of a phrase. I guess, yeah, maybe he's drunk, or it's like his parents. I'm thinking it because of the context clues are making me think high school party. I'm thinking he's saying it to his mom, who's driving him.
Right. Like, none of this worked out. Please take me home.
Please take me home. Or, like, please park 2 blocks away, though, and then take me home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't write down the most obvious songs called Please Take Me Home. There's, like, some big artists who have them, and some middle-sized artists. But I wanted to listen to this nice little ditty from Dave Ditchburn.
Ooh.
And so this opens up saying, a Wally McGill song from the forthcoming album by Talisman, A Place to Rest My Bones. This is a demo featuring Wally and Dave. So this is Wally McGill and Davey Ditchburn.
Are they from, Dildo, Newfoundland or whatever?
I think so. This sounds so much like Tim Heidecker. There's like Twin Peaks synth in the background.
Yes, highly Lynchian.
There's some vocals when he, like, really rips into the Heidecker. But they gotta cook first. Davey and Wally know what they're doing.
Stew in it. There's a comment here that says, just so people know that this is going to be worth the wait, if you put these two together, you are guaranteed great music. Household names in the Northeast, but should it be nationwide? Pure class. Can't wait for the album from Talisman.
Please take me home to the place I was born. Early one morning on a cold, frosty dawn. I long to be there just once more. Just once more.
Another comment says, still sounds like there is a lot to give. The track is great. Thank you, Deck.
I just want to figure out where these guys are from, because your impression was so evocative, and then all those comments are, but it's just like the Northeast, and then I found a bio for Wally McGill that just says he's one of the best guitarists in the Northeast, but, like, who's Northeast, you know?
Yeah. Good question. The reason I talk like that is because, so in Calgary, a place that I cannot wait to be rid of, everybody, like, because when I worked at Fast Forward, I especially saw this. Everybody dresses like a cowboy, obviously, for the Stampede, and then, like, 3 weeks later, all of a sudden they've switched their cowboy garb for what I would say is the exact opposite, and dress like a hippie and go to Folk Fest. But everyone was so obsessed with Folk Fest, and they would sort of, like, adopt this pretentious, like, Newfoundland-sounding accent, even though they're born and raised in Calgary, and be like, the way Wally McGill plays his guitar, he has so much heart. And I'm like, you don't fucking talk like this at the office. Yeah, you don't talk like this at the office. You're just saying this now. So I don't know.
There is absolutely a prominent Canadian radio personality who hails from The Rock, and I'm like, whenever, like, I saw him on a plane once, and he was like, excuse me there, boy, gotta, just get my jaunty little body down the aisles, and you're like, what the fuck? You listen to him on the radio, he's like, hello, and welcome to the name of my radio show, and you're like, what, anyway, newfies, man.
I don't know why I assumed this was Canadian, but they did release a 7-inch in the UK.
Well, it looks like so. I finally found the address for the Northern Music Center where Wally McGill teaches, and it's in Newcastle upon Tyne.
That's the wrong accent, but I love it. But Talisman did a 7-inch in '89 called "Still Believe in Love," and if you told me this was like a noisy NYHC band on Deranged like 10 years ago,
this cover fucking rocks.
Put that in the hardcore 7-inch discount bin where all those hardcore records are now. I believe it.
I'd be curious.
Sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one I'm going to play, this one I was especially confused because it's also called Blink.
Wow. So wait,
Like,
I think let's do like sort of a battle royale for like which Please Take Me Home is better. So which is better to you, Blink or that song?
Okay, so there's that one. I've written down 3. So there's that one, and then there's Sun. Oh, I see. We're not doing versus Blink.
It's like when you go to the when you go to the eye doctor, right? And they're like, "What's better, A or B?" And then you're like, "B," and they're like, "B or C," and you're like, "B," and you're like, "B or D." You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I give it to Wally. There, I have to. The playing was just too sick.
Okay. I'm still on Blink, but let's see what the Sun Kids.
And that was more about Wally's lyrics, or Davey or whoever that was more about wanting to be taken home somewhere. So I respected that as well.
Factual.
Not to mention the beautiful vacation photos that were being slideshowed across while they were playing.
That part was quite relaxing. Yeah.
But Sun Kids with a Z. This is called "Take Me Home" and then parentheses Blink. So why did they put that in there if not for me to find this? Like, I feel like the map is being laid up for me. I feel like that meme of Charlie from It's Always Sunny.
It's one of those things where we're going to like look in the tags and it's going to say Blink 155, Josiah, hey Josiah.
Yeah. Like, how am I not supposed to think the world is conspiring against or for me based on this experience?
She said, "Where the fuck is getting thicker?"
What? I love these bad synths.
Yeah, this is good.
It kind of sounds like Love Inc.
Yeah, it's just like it feels like so deliberately or like I don't know. It's just so uncool, and I respect that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, this is only 1 year old, but it could be from like 1993.
Yeah, this is my new favorite.
That's your new favorite. I'm still handing it to Davey.
Oh wow, okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that one was just kind of. Why did they put Blink in the title? Are they just trying to steal some SEO shit right now?
Definitely. Yeah, this is like where you do like all white text or whatever on your page that was like friend zone. I don't know.
Enough with the friend zone.
I know.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I regretted it. I immediately. So sorry.
This is by Sebastian Trafalgar, and this is side B of this cassette, a single, I think, handmade single, called Flora Tape, and the song is called "Please Take Me Home." I think there's some vocals later. I'll skip ahead. I think think that's my favorite one now.
Yeah, that one's really good. Although I noticed, like, you know, Sebastian Trafalgar is from Montreal, right? And
So you think I have a bias, maybe?
well, what I'm wondering is, you know, you said you're done writing songs or whatever. You're throwing in the towel on your rock and roll dreams. But, like, you are going to move to Montreal, and all of a sudden you're going to have so many, like, homemade tapes of your various sort of, like, noisy
like my noise
bedroom
project.
experiments. Yeah.
I'm going to start doing things with contact mics and menstrual blood.
Yeah, totally. It's going to be sick.
Imagine if, like, a straight, cis, hetero man did like the classic first year of college contact mic and menstrual blood performance art, but it was like a total straight guy. That's gonna be my
Ooh, so what a transgressive piece of art. What kind of statement are you making on allyship?
I mean, making a statement on look how gross this is.
Right, that's your statement, is like, ew.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it fuck
Okay,
you
well,
up that, like, you're going to live in a cooler town than me now, though? Because it fucks me up. Like, I feel like the one thing
Well,
that I
you think
have
that-
is Toronto.
Right. First of all, of course, you're the kind of guy who calls a city a town.
I know.
That's like-
I feel like the last 15 minutes have been really rough for me. Like, I'm doing, like, too much recall and
You're samming out.
I know. It's awful. I'm spiraling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Toronto's cooler than Calgary. I feel like that's really some just bottom of the barrel fighting, duking it out. It's
Right.
really-
No one wins. Alien versus
you
Predator.
live in a bigger city. There's more options because there's more people.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into it because I also don't think that where you live matters because we all live on the internet.
Wow. Heady stuff.
Okay, so that was those. So I think that the noise guy won.
Yeah, Noise Guy was
I
the
don't
most
know.
interesting in the end. That's, you know, maybe I'm just like
But
trying
again,
to get
like,
on your
how-
good side before you get to Montreal.
The statement, "Please take me home." How did it inspire those three disparate things? How does that even make sense?
It's the iconic statement we all know and love.
Please take me home. I have to shit.
Oh, needing to get home when you have to shit, guy. I mean, you know.
Trust me, I know. But before we get back to this actual song, there's another song called "Take Me Home" that is like this thing that I keep seeing all the time. Now that Blink-182 is like somehow cool or whatever, is a new SEO thing for struggle producers. We've had this like on a very recent episode already, but
right.
there's another one. It's just sort of like a thing for I guess free beats. Well, this is they say it's free, but then you read the small print. The untagged wave is going to cost you $20, or you can get 2 beats for $30. Like, what if you were like obsessed with like the way that you're always like buying shit on Bandcamp and not listening to it? What if it was you still wanted to pay it forward with the music, but all you did was buy beats from people and then just like leave them on your computer and never listen to them?
Just like feel kind of satisfied in myself for
yeah, like I collect
supporting
beats.
someone. Yeah, I'm actually really into this cool new hobby. I'm just thinking maybe that is a fun idea. Like maybe I'm just gonna like get like super high one night and buy like 20 beats and then just like write an album. You know?
You should. You totally should.
I'm gonna do that. That seems like just like a fun weekend activity, maybe.
For the Patreon, Sam's rap album.
yeah. Get ready. It's gonna be. Look, I'm not gonna try to rap, but it'll definitely be experimental in some new and exciting way. I hope.
You've definitely tried to rap before. Be honest.
Yeah. Well, listen. The only time that I've ever rapped, I think, you know, into a microphone for release was for my Jaws musical, but that's, you know, an important piece of context.
There's rapping in that.
Yeah,
too?
yeah. There's rapping. Yeah.
So it's proto Hamilton. You think Lynn knew about it?
I think Lynn heard Giant Killer Shark the musical and was like, "Damn, you can rap in this, rigid context." And I said, "Yes, Lynn," and he did it. So you're welcome. The autopsy scene with the rapping fisherman in my Jaws musical created Hamilton.
Wow. What have you done?
I know you.
Okay.
It's pretty
This
good.
producer's
to be
name
honest.
is Roscoe with a K. Hamilton is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
We've talked about this on the pod before. I
Yeah,
think.
musicals is like well-worn territory.
But you've
Like,
never seen it also, right?
No.
You just know that it's good.
I've listened to the
You just get a
soundtrack
vibe.
like several times. Like you can listen to it. It's like a record.
Yeah, I've heard the song where he's like, "I'm not gonna miss my shot," or whatever.
Like, yeah, when someone else does it, it's not pleasant.
Okay, let's palette cleanse. So this is Roscoe's Blink-182 times Lil Nas X type beat, and Roscoe has titled it "Take Me Home." Maybe the only way that some people have ever heard pop music is Blink-182. So just having 3 chords, they're like, this is that Blink-182 type John or whatever. That's why they upload it like that.
Let's start saying John.
Even saying type beat is like
it was an
funny.
awkward thing to couldn't remember. There was like definitely one time where there was a guy that I was looking at who was wearing what could only have been described as Fire Johns, and I said it like super deliberately to them. I was like, "Those are some Fire Johns." It felt so good coming out of my mouth.
Why don't you write John's the musical instead?
Oh, wow! I'm writing that down. Damn.
Oh god.
This is gonna be really fun to do. I think what I'll do is like just an entire album of Blink-182 type beats.
Or what if we do a compilation where everyone buys this beat? This person makes like $700, and then everyone writes their own song over it.
Do we think Roscoe's a good person? Like they.
Well, actually, the beat is we can use it for free as long as we keep the tagged version and give credit in the song title. So I mean, that's all you need to know. Everyone download this Blink-182 type beat and turn it into some Blink-182 type John.
Amazing. Okay, so everyone's got to upload their own Fire John. We'll put this song, I guess, in the description of the episode.
Or you can go to SoundCloud.com/Roscoe vs World. So it's Roscoe versus the world, baby.
And Roscoe with a K.
Roscoe with a K. So I mean, let's hear your Johns.
Show us your Johns.
And that's Long Johns. That's what I was talking about with that. Okay, while we're doing some like sort of SoundCloud oddities, someone has mashed this song up with Down, which I think kind of further proves the way that it's a precursor to Self-Unentitled, maybe. This is by Jordan Lemire, who is a name that I feel like maybe I've seen in the nation before. I don't know. We're not linked in here. Maybe not. Quite a few listens on here, though.
Well, he does list himself as a dashboard professional and boxcar raver, so there's a good chance that at least my interests in his intersect.
That's kind of awkward, to be honest.
I liked it, but I think that's just because I like Down, and so far they were only playing parts of that song that I like too. So overall, just two pleasant experiences on top of one another for me.
Well, the final one before we get... Oh, no, wait, I've got two. Okay, I'm going to do... Now we got to talk about... That was the SoundCloud interpretation of the song, and you so poignantly opened this episode discussing YouTube, so we're going to now do the YouTube interpretation of the song, starting with... What would it be like with a guitar solo?
Yes. I'm legitimately pumped for this.
I don't even think Little Red Guitars 2 knows that he's on the Free Punk Lyrics compilation.
Really? He was tricked into it?
You haven't listened to it yet because we're going to do a exclusive where we listen together somehow one day. I mean, it's going to take probably 7 hours to do or something,
Yeah.
knowing us.
We're very excited about it.
It's going to be a nightmare. But yeah, some people from the LA chapter of our ring, our Podo ring, which we'll call now.
Oh, no.
I think you can like pay him money to just shred on whatever. He's kind of like the guitar version of the great producer Roscoe. So I think they just hired him to shred. It was What If Meat Holocaust had a guitar solo. So he shreds on the comp, but I don't even know if he knows he's on it. So
that's so sick.
Yeah, but anyways, here's him doing a guitar solo on "Please Take Me Home."
Honest, this breaks my heart. It's so hard. Let's go.
So, like, something about major scale guitar solos in general always sound like YTV cartoon music.
Yeah, the best
You know what I mean?
kind of music. I'm like, I want to find this option for getting him to shred on your songs and just put him on like every old Junior Battle song and like old demo of my own that's like never seen the light of day.
What if you got him to shred on the Roscoe beat that you bought, and then you pay someone else buy a verse from Snoop Dogg or something,
right?
And then you're basically there. You're DJ Khaled.
I mean, if I made that investment, like whatever it costs for the Snoop verse, I'm sure it's reasonable. I wonder if you could get like. Are there any like real C-list rappers on Cameo that you could be like, can you just say this for my friend? And it's just
entire. It's a 3 minutes long.
Yeah. It's a hot 16.
Yeah, because rap, I mean, that's what I wonder too, is like, can you get a shitty sort of forgotten rapper for way cheaper?
I'm sure.
Because rappers are always like, oh, I'm $100K a verse or whatever, but like, what if you only want to spend $1K? Who can you get?
That's interesting. I mean, I guess whoever's on Cameo. We should start putting out those feelers. Let's find, so it's Roscoe's Free Beats and the 100K rappers, and that's our cool new band name.
Thinking about the TV theme song sound of this reminds me that Sarah used to work at a studio, an animation studio, and the boss was like kind of, I think he just really wanted to seem cool, kind of. Mm-hmm. And when they were working on this new show, Sarah was like, oh, we're in a band, because we had a short-lived pop-punk band in Vancouver called Styx, but we spelled it like Sticks. And she was like, we have a band. We would love to do it. And he's like, yeah, that'd be awesome. I want something that's like kind of pop punk. Like, that'd be so cool. And so she came home from work early, and we like stayed up all night because the show was like sold to big networks. And so we stayed up like all night, wrote an incredible demo for this kid's cartoon. And then the next day he's like, oh, I decided that I would just like, he wanted to sing on it or something.
Oh, what the fuck?
We like came so close to writing the theme song for a kids show that lasted for like multiple seasons.
Damn.
So, yeah, it would have been so cool.
Imagine if you got Little Red Guitars for it too. Yeah, you should definitely post that. That should be a Patreon song.
Yeah, I'll put it on the Patreon. Yeah, I'll do that. But anyways, TV punk is an interesting genre. It'd be cool if someone started a band that just sounded like what we always talk about being HGTV or I guess jingle punks. Is that
wow!
Kind of thing.
Yeah, that's their entire successful business model.
Man, what an interesting and terrifying world we live in, including even more YouTubey. So that was like sort of the gentle foreplay. of YouTube-ness. But this is like full-on fucking YouTuber. This is the user Rock and Roller. And she's listing my top 10 favorite Blink-182 songs. So I'm going to just play you the start so you can sort of get a feel for the energy, and then I'll skip ahead to her talking about Please Take Me Home.
Sounds great.
Hey guys, it's Jenny, and today's video is my top 10 favorite songs by Blink-182. One of you rock and rollers asked me to do this video a pretty while ago. I have like a map thingy in my computer where I keep all your print screens that I think that are very nice video ideas. And I found this one because I was such in a Blink-182 mood, didn't really know what to do. And then I saw this comment and I'm like, yeah, that's the video for today. And I'm gonna go from 1 to 10. Number 10 is my favorite. And number 1, not my least favorite. It's like I have 2 songs that are very special to me and my absolute favorites of all Blink songs. And the rest of the songs are just songs that I really, really like, but I do.
Is there like people who research why certain people, like why is this channel somewhat successful? Do you know? Can you tell by looking at it? Is it because of the quick edits or the ear-piercing volume with which she's speaking?
I have honestly no idea. The only thing I can think of is like this. So this person is from the Netherlands, and they're doing like English language, like, you know, looks like sort of very like American focused kind of like music and culture content or whatever, I guess. And like the way that PewDiePie became like the biggest channel on YouTube is that he's from Sweden, and like it's a smaller country, and the, you know, algorithm rewards constant uploads and longer videos, and so it's very easy, or not very easy, but like relatively easier to become like a, you know, #1 trending channel in a smaller market with that type of content, and then that tells the algorithm in other markets that they might like it, and it sort of like spreads out from there or whatever. And so like maybe, you know, by virtue of like having something of a niche in that part of the world, you can kind of like, you know, do really well in the Netherlands, and then that spreads to other sort of English speaking pockets around you, and then, you know, then you get 60,000 subscribers on YouTube.
God damn. All right, here's Rock and Roller talking about the song.
I just enjoy. Go on to number 7. Please Take Me Home is number 7. Also a song that brings me back to my youth, growing up, stuff like that. I'm still growing up. I don't feel like a 24-year-old. Then number 8 is Give Me...
That's it? That's all she says?
I want more.
Oh, man. I want more Rock and Roller. But, I mean, there is just so much Blink-182 content on YouTube like that. That's just, like, people babbling aimlessly about Blink-182.
Wow, sounds awful. Who would make or consume such a thing? It is so fascinating to me. I mean, we talked about this when we got into, like, neighborhood stuff. Like, the way that this band missed out mostly on, like, YouTube culture and its sort of influence on music, but has still been like fully integrated into it in a sort of not even a nostalgic way, but like they've continued. You know, there's a reason why, you know, Lil Nas X and Blink-182 Type Beat was the thing that you found. Like their ongoing relevancy to like successive generations is shocking.
It's so weird.
And like that video perfectly
note,
demonstrates it.
It's so true. And then reading the comments too is like people talking about the country song, and then people talking about like neighborhoods kind of shit and whatever. Like, it's very confusing. I think maybe it's because we're talking about the most normie band of all time. Probably.
Who would like this avant-garde thing that only you and I love, Josiah? It's quite preposterous.
But it is funny that it's the starting point is, yeah, making it sound like post-hardcore from DC, and then it's actually just for this purpose instead.
Dink, doont, boom, ba-dum.
Okay, let's talk about some fucking covers, baby.
Damn, I thought that was what we'd been doing for the last half hour.
Nope. Actually, this first one is not technically fully just a cover, but it's even something worse. And I picked it because I thought there's something about the energy I'm getting from this page that makes me think they probably know who you are. You might not know who they are, but they know who you are. Like, this seems like some like late era fest kind of people.
Okay, cool.
Do you know what I mean? They're called Safe, So Simple. And they're from Benson, Arizona. and they've done a cover that is "Damn It" and "Josie" and "Please Take Me Home" all together at once.
Yes. Just like everyone's been asking for.
It's like also just crazily earnest.
Yeah, my girlfriend takes me home and I'm too drunk to drive. And she doesn't get all jealous when I hang out with the guys. She laughs at my dog.
Honestly, I'm getting so agitated that I need to skip ahead because it takes a long time to get to the relevant song.
Pictures are falling down. It's happened once again. I'll turn to a friend, someone that understands, sees through the master plan. But everybody's gone, and I've been here for too long to face this on my own. Well, I guess this is growing up. Well, I guess this is growing up. Why did we have to go date? It's too easy to complicate. Be strong when things fall apart. Be strong when things fall apart. Honest, this breaks my heart. It's so hard. It's happened once again.
I'm hoping that through this exposure therapy, you'll realize that being so earnest and addicted to harms can lead to bad things.
Yeah, this is the first time that it's like someone being like, "Oh, you love harms? Well, what about these harms?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
like, is that how every harm sounds to you?
You need to smoke this entire carton of harms right now.
Like, I was like tense that whole time.
It sounds like they're doing it like I guess they are harmonizing. It never sounds out of key, but it sounds like they don't know what they're doing.
No, it just feels like they've sort of lucking into it every time. Like in my mind, I can picture them looking at each other like it's like an improv game where they're like,
And it's like so intimate where it feels like they are doing an actual circle jerk on the mic right now.
Yeah.
It's like it's so uncomfortable. I felt like I was making eye contact with that song.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I also felt like the opening harm they nailed, and I was like, oh shit. And then like, so I was lulled into an immediate false sense of security and comfort.
That made it even more painful.
Yeah, where then I was just rocked for the next 60 seconds.
I think this song's going to take you on quite a journey, my friend. Up next there's a lot of acoustic, a lot of earnest. This is especially like painfully acoustic, and something about this video being shot so well makes it even more uncomfortable. And like I'm watching something I shouldn't be seeing. This is by the band Paper Rockets.
Oh no, it happened again. She screws and touches my friend. And I drive for hours, it's so. You leave me nowhere to go. She's unstoppable, unpredictable. I'm so jaded, calculated.
You know, it's that classic Ian MacKay Discord sound.
Yeah.
Don Zientara production kind of vibe.
Immediately recognizable. Like, only the boys.
Musically, that didn't actually sound as gross, but when you're looking at it, and I feel like this is why I've seen people, okay, this is really nerdy, but I've seen people sort of talking about how they don't like split diopter lenses in horror movies lately, and how like when the background and the foreground are in focus at the same time, and it does look really cheesy. But people have abused shallow depth of field so much.
That's the problem.
And when I watch this video, I think I never want to see shallow depth of field ever again. It's nauseating to me.
It definitely is a look that defines an era. And this is, much more sort of discomforting as a visual experience. Like, just a very high gloss, like, sort of a light sort of kind of tint on it. I don't know. Yeah, I can't handle it.
Yeah, it's just, like, so... It feels like something that a wedding photographer made for, like, a promo video or something. It's just...
Right, yeah.
I'm just so lost.
Where you're like, wow, these people are so in love. If this was a wedding video, if this like ended with like these two dudes being like, "Thank you for coming to our special day," I would have been like, "Hell yes."
Yeah, true. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, there's a few more acoustics to get through, but I've started with the most uncomfortably earnest, but the rest are just kind of like very confusing and wonderful and strange. This next one,
what was the movie that where
because
people were always talking about, like that came out where, because the split diopter thing is like a De Palma thing. I was just thinking of this because I feel like I only just realized what it was because I just rewatched Carrie and I haven't seen it in forever, and it's like constant in that movie. And then I feel like in Googling it, it was like this whole thing, like you said, that people are yelling about in horror movies. Like, what movies is it in? Why is
you
this
know
a conversation?
Actually, you know what it was? It was in Jaws, actually.
Yeah.
And I saw this because someone in The Nation had retweeted it. I'm sorry, I don't remember who you were. There's a lot of scrolling going on every day. But it was in Jaws, and then some fucker tried to, quote, fix it and added shallow depth of field, and it just looked so disgusting.
Oh my God.
Fuck shallow depth of field. Make everything be in focus.
This is a great stance.
Yeah, I'm done with it. And also, the motion smoothing on your TV, they wouldn't have put it in there if they didn't want you to use it.
It's smooth. That means good.
Exactly. Okay, this next one I'm obsessed with because, like, I just love the act of a teen doing a pop punk voice. And it's like, Tom DeLonge is doing a teen pop punk voice all the time, but like he's learned to make it sound natural. But this kid, Dumb Pups, in 2013, it's just so like, oh, I just fucking love it because it's so relatable to me. Like just singing MXPX songs alone in my bedroom and being like, blah, 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 blah. Just like doing that bad pop punk voice.
Dumb Pups is so good. Also as like a band name. Yes.
She's cool, she's hot, she's my friend.
I believe it from this kid.
I tried for hours and so
Exactly.
you leave me nowhere to go. She's unstoppable, unpredictable. I'm so jaded, calculated, wrong.
I'm obsessed with like the almost Aphex Twin like rhythms that these people do when they can't quite figure it out. It reminds me of like some kid in high school showing me this Square Pusher song where he sampled a ping pong ball bouncing and then the beat was the ball getting closer and closer together. I feel like I've said that before too. Probably I have. I think I'm just losing my fucking mind. But I love that like off kilter because you're getting so emotional thinking about the hot girl that is your friend that you just can't strum properly.
We have all been there. Too hot to strum.
Okay, this next one I think this might be a bit of a jape. Because this user's name is Bones Box. And there's a shit. The picture is really funny. It's a skeleton drinking a very pixelated water bottle and saying, delicious.
Yeah. Bones Box is good. Bones Box and Dumb Pups, like there's some quality monikers floating around.
That's true. That is true. Here's Bones Box.
Oh no, it happened again. She's bed. I drive for hours if so. You leave me nowhere to go. She's unstoppable, unpredictable. I'm so jaded, calculated, wrong. Please take me home. Too late, it's gone. I bet you're sad. This is the best time we ever had.
It kind of sounds like what I've always imagined that band Shoo Shoo to sound like. Or how you pronounce the...
I think it was Shoo Shoo. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what Shoo Shoo sounds like.
Did you ever pretend to like Shoo Shoo? I'm almost positive I pretended to like Shoo Shoo.
No, I didn't, but I loved that label 5RC because they put out like all the Hella stuff and whatnot. But I couldn't get. I even back then I would have rather listened to Blink-182 to make everyone around me mad than listen to Shoo Shoo. But this sounded like Blink-182 Shoo.
Oh no! Please transition soon.
Okay, this next one, this song does have. This song clearly did send some fucked up energy into the universe because there are some weird ass covers. This one uploaded by Aaron TK29. This is an all timer, I think. I grew up with Blink, and I love putting their lyrics to different music. If you have any ideas or recommendations, please let me know. And so I think this is a basement that almost has been half transformed to look like a concert space, maybe? Like, there's a velvet curtain, but then there's also just, like, basement signifiers, like storage bins
piles
and
of
stuff.
Tupperware and, like, some shirts. I feel like it's the, like, random storage basement room, but that there's, like, minor soundproofing has been done, because it's also the jam room now.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, also, like, to have such a shoddy setup, but then also to own a full PA is a very interesting vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a bed on the left side? Is that a bed? I can't really tell.
It might be a bed and a TV, so maybe it's this teen's room?
Well, either way, so Aaron TK is in this interesting multi-use space.
Imagine having this PA in your room. Now I think it's a room.
It's baffling. And there's books in the foreground. It's just a very... Like, the image alone
reader,
is...
I see.
The image alone is worth savoring also because I've heard the music and, like, you need to sort of, like, appreciate the last moments you've had before you heard this video versus after. So here's what Aaron TK29... his take.
Just the fact that it's even called, like, Please Take Me Home cover Blink-182.mov is a very good sign.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of room noise.
Yeah, it's very authentic. Wait, is he going to say Please Take Me Home over, like, what is this, Third Eye Blind? Whoa.
She's cool, she's hot, she's my friend. I try for hours and so.
Okay.
You let me know where to go. She's unstoppable, unpredictable. I'm so jaded, calculated, Please take me home to live. It's gone. I've heard your sigh. This is the best time we ever had.
Holy shit. So, if you told me, if we lied to the Ring and we told them, oh yeah, like, this is this is actual Scott Stapp singing. You would not believe Scott Stapp once covered the song, like, you know, in some weird YouTube video, and here it is. Like, it was at times a highly convincing impression.
It really
Right?
was. It's so good.
Also, I mean, it was obviously good because there are not a ton of comments on this. It hasn't had a ton of views, but 50% of the comments, 2 out of 4, are from Nick Hansbar, just getting pretty horned up here in the comments. Holy balls, you have an awesome voice. Followed up by his second comment, and hair like Shane Dawson.
I love so much that whenever someone mentions Shane Dawson, I just think about him fucking his cat. It's so good. Well, you know what? Look, I know that it's like the middle of the night there for you, but before I go to the next cover, we literally have to see what he did with Down as well. Because not only that, he's switched formats. It's now an AVI file. So
well, it's a different room, so maybe there's like a different
room. It's an AVI file. He's wearing sort of like an off-brand Affliction shirt, and it was uploaded almost a full year later. And he's written, "Here's another Blink-182 cover. If anyone has any ideas, please let me know. I would absolutely love to let you know. So please do more of these for us, even if you want."
Yeah, Aaron TK, damn.
Maybe it might be hard to tell through the way that you're listening through Skype, but if you can hear anything different with the audio compression of an AVI versus an MOV, I would love to know.
We'll definitely compare notes. He changed up his hair, though. It's like a faux hawk now.
Yeah, he's a bit more slick.
Is this the same chord progression as the last one?
No drops of rain, they've gone all over. This awkward silence makes me crazy. The glowing sideburns light upon her. I'll try to kiss you if you let me. Tidal waves, they rip right through me. Tears from eyes worn gold and sad. Pick me up now, I need you so bad. Down, 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 down.
Fuck yes.
That was less Scott Stapp.
It was still
maybe
pretty
a little more
Stappish.
Wieland. I think it was a little more Scott Wieland.
Right, yeah. I mean, I just can't believe that there's only 2 videos on this dude's channel, or 2 covers and then 1 original. Like, how is this person not still, like, making covers? I guess we should comment, right?
Yeah, okay, I'll comment on the newer one, I guess.
Yeah, I'll cover on that too. I'm just going to say
well,
more covers. Please.
I'll say I have lots of ideas.
I
have lots of ideas for you. Specifically, cover some more Blink songs, please.
Okay, and I've written more covers, please, for me.
Nice.
Sick. The pod is fun.
Okay. I love that guy. That was so bizarre.
So real.
What a strange pair of songs to choose also for that
Yeah.
vibe. I mean, I don't know what else. There's not that many songs you can turn into like flyover country alternative rock, but those are the ones, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to hear what he would do with like Damn It or something. Also, when we were listening to that other song with Damn It earlier, I was just, like really feeling a palpable sense of dread that we're going to have to do that episode one day.
Don't worry. We'll die before that happens.
Oh, yeah, let's get the audio critic to finish his job that he started. Okay, this next one is Instrumental cover with a Z, and it's uploaded by Creddy Petty on SoundCloud. And so this is what instrumental music sounds like. Oops. Like, is there not something about this song that is just giving off some extreme unhinged energy that is quite terrifying?
All of these feel a little haunted.
It's just kind of, there's a darkness to it that I can't put my finger on.
I think it maybe is because this song is an anthem that spoke to the problematic experience of a bunch of shitty internet people. Maybe that not to drill back into that. I'm not going to say the words, but could that be it? That's who this emotionally got under the skin of her under.
It must have.
Jesus.
I don't know. I don't understand. But, I mean, basically, they're all bad vibes from here on out. I don't know what to say other than that. Except the bad vibes in this one is that everyone is wearing shorts on stage. And I just think that that's unacceptable. And there's also 30 people on stage, and there's a guy with a laptop. And the singer is just he looks so much like he just woke up from a nap. It's crazy. He has I'm just everything about this is just so bonkers. The band is called Corporate Casual, and they're all wearing shorts.
Did I tell you? Did we already talk on the pod about the massive conversation about wearing shorts on stage that Ashley and I had before the live pod in Montreal?
No, wait. Did you wear shorts?
I did. I ultimately decided that it was okay to wear shorts because it's a pop punk podcast. And then my shorts are fine. I don't look especially foolish in shorts. I mean, more foolish than anyone in shorts, which is fairly foolish. Yada yada yada. But it was 40 degrees with the humidity in Montreal, and I was I guess I'll wear my thick black jeans. And Ashley was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm you can't wear shorts on stage or you look like corporate casual.
Yeah, you're not allowed to wear shorts on stage ever unless you're the singer of an amazing core band and you're wearing swim trunks, gym shorts or tiny swim trunks. But the funny thing is, there's two things. The night before that I saw you, I was wearing shorts for the first time in 5 years because it was so unbearably hot. I was I can't believe I have to wear fucking shorts.
It was
the band
so
Corporate
hot.
Casual.
Yeah.
But then we went to visit you at your swanky hotel room, and you were wearing pants, and I was like, God damn, even Sam doesn't wear shorts in this kind of heat? I can't believe this. And now it's coming back to me, you did wear shorts, and I thought, okay.
Questionable.
So we had an opposite shorts days.
Oh yeah, because you wore pants for the live show because you knew you were going to be in front of people.
Of course, I would absolutely never wear shorts on stage. That's absolutely absurd. The other thing is that same mentality that you had of it being pop punk. I was trying to convince Sarah to let me buy huge Dickies shorts at Army and Navy, and she was getting so mad at me. And I don't think it's going to happen, but I almost bought some giant Dickies shorts, but my wife has talked me down from the ledge.
Ooh, let's bring them back. We'll see. We'll see if Sarah can win after the avalanche of tweets that you'll get. Buy the shorts.
Well, I think I don't want them now. After even just seeing a still from this video, there are 20 guys wearing shorts on stage. It sounds like that.
Last show we played that we were gonna not play it anymore, but we don't ever have time to practice, so we're gonna keep playing it until we die. We're gonna keep playing it until we die. Let's do this thing.
Let's do this thing. The thing that's weird is that this is, by all accounts, this band playing a good show. They're playing well, and the crowd is into it, and everything's going well, and this is the peak of what you can get out of it. Isn't that depressing?
Yeah. Also, I feel I want to be oh, it's so sick. They're trying so hard. Because if I look at some of the casuals here, they look
there's so many people. It's it's seriously Under Oath. There's 100 people on stage.
There's a guy with a laptop that's I guess using it to change the synth sound. But there's a MacBook on stage for this right now. But don't some of them look like if we saw this and it was at a high school talent show, we'd be like, oh, this is sick, they're trying. But then the Nap Lord himself, the vocalist, it has like a huge beard. So these guys are like 40.
Yeah, they're 40 and they're all wearing shorts. They're 40 and shorty. It's bad. Okay, I lied to you. There's one good one, and then there's a bunch more bad ones, and then you can go to bed.
Thank you.
Do you want the good one now, or do you want it in a bit?
In a bit, because I'm still like, I mean, I'm not.
You're not. Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I hate this, but like, I don't hate you yet. You know.
Okay, well, we'll get there. This one is like, seriously, why is this song such a bad vibe? So this kid, this one's called Sam Plays Guitar is the account.
Oh, no, it's me.
My covers have errors, and plenty of them, but here's my best. And I just want to say to everyone, and this is from 2013, not that long ago, for some reason, while you're hearing these sounds, I want you to imagine Sam Plays Guitar made it so that the video ever so slowly rotates,
really
and you just
to
feel like
watch.
you're dying.
It feels
horrifying.
like Enter the Void. Like it's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Like nauseating.
And it sounds like this to make it even worse.
Like, is it making you kind of sick?
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's such a slow rotation.
And the mix of him playing the guitar wrong and how it just sounds in general is so like Zero Dark 30.
Yeah. Also, like now it's zooming and spinning, and
it's so cursed.
Oh my god. Oh. I
feel like I'm gonna puke.
Bad. I feel like it's not a joke. I feel physically ill.
Yeah.
That was like there's something
please,
about that. Oh my god! Like the way the colors.
It was like something about the audio too.
Yeah, the whole experience. But like I just want people to understand, like it was moving, and the aspect ratio wasn't changing. So as it spun, like also the black around it was moving. Like it was.
Yeah. There's something evil about this song.
Yeah, like I'm really worried that when I like go to sleep tonight, like just like an oil demon is gonna barf out of my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. That probably will happen, and it's because of the pod. Okay, I'm gonna play the good one now because I think
that was that bad. I was thinking that I was like, I don't know that I can go any further.
There's a couple bad ones after that, but I don't think it's going to get as bad as that nauseating, seasick feeling that we just had.
Goosebumps. I'm like really real mad.
Why is this the most evil song?
It
doesn't make any sense.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, this one is sick though. I didn't check where it is. I don't know where Jogja TV is. But this is a band playing live on TV.
On Jogja.
And they're playing on Jogja, and it is in Indonesia. I just double checked. They're called Endless Holiday, and they're so sick. And to see like a band cover a Blink-182 song on like a morning TV show is so good. So here we go.
Indonesia can't even be real.
I know. A Misfits shirt, and it has an MXPX sticker on his guitar.
We just gotta move, man. Don't go to Montreal. Come to Jakarta with me.
That's the goal. I'm moving east. Every few years, I'm gonna move further east until I make Jakarta.
Also, it's mostly shot like normal morning show style, but there's like one camera guy who keeps doing like kung fu zooms.
Yeah. Man, shout out to these guys.
Shout out to these guys. Endless Holiday.
Yeah, he's doing the crazy zooms, and it's still less disorienting than that last video.
Yeah, this is still definitely sickness season for me, though.
Yeah, definitely. This is better than the Blink version for
Yeah,
sure.
we've understood the true essence of the song thanks to Endless Holiday.
Wait, I'm kind of curious how they'd handle the bridge.
Ooh.
Where is it? Maybe I can't find it.
Yes.
Here we go. He's just kind of playing that E string whenever. The zooms remind me of like when you play a show and the lighting guy thinks that he's like down. You know, when you play in a bigger club and he's like, "Oh, I get it," and then just like goes fucking ape shit on the lights.
Yeah. And you're like, oh no, man, no, that's not the vibe. But you know, cool to connect. Damn, imagine just seeing this on TV. Indonesia it seems like paradise.
It really does. Okay, now we gotta unfortunately go back to reality, which is the hell of the North American covers. There's 2 left, but I gotta say the bad vibes that we're getting here, like at our live shows, we have a supercut at the end of all the covers. I mean, that's not a secret. You're not going to see it unless you see the live shows. But between the Toronto show a year ago and then the Montreal one this year, we didn't really have to edit. I didn't have to edit it at all because there hasn't been anything that I felt like was really worth plugging in. But I feel like this song has added so many things that I definitely need to add to the supercut.
Yeah, there's some important pieces of cursed visuals and sonics. That
Like look at like even just look at this. Just look at this.
Yeah, this is it. This is the first real update.
Like this one again is there's just so much Tupperware bin energy in this video. This image is so fucked. Actually,
This just feels this garage. It looks like maybe it's a garage. It
looks like it might be like a Katrina kind of drop-in center vibe
Right,
or whatever.
it's so crowded with shit. Like it does kind of look like maybe. Unfortunately, I understand that this is not like a joke, but it does look like a hoarder lives there, and it just sort of feels like if you were on like an A&E type show, and you'd be like, "Wait, just how many pop punk bands are there in this house?" And they're like, "Well, I don't know, man. There's
someone who hoards pop punk boys, aka me."
yeah."
But yeah, like every pixel of this image has something to enjoy. I mean, he's wearing a police line "Do Not Cross"
Yes.
guitar strap. He's got like ugly ass chunky dad sneakers that someone would pay like $3,000 for last year. And there's I think is that a Costco size Cinnamon Toast Crunch box behind him? Is that what that is, or is it some sort of like cookie snacks? And then not only that, but there's a guitar plugged in, laying flat on the garage floor.
It's so good.
Oh, and I think I see the cheese puffs bin behind the drummer.
Oh, classic bin. Oh, yeah, that is that bin.
I love this video. And so this band is called Naked Yard Gnomes. But they had to get the account Naked Yard Gnomes too when they uploaded this 10 years ago. Because there's must have already been a band called Naked Yard Gnomes. But also, I guess it just goes without saying, like, at least the kid playing bass has a guitar strap. The other kid seems to have a guitar strap that's maybe broken, but they've both decided to sit on, like, the kitchen chairs that every mom and dad had that were broken that they'd always threatened to throw out but never was. You know what I mean? Like every house has these kitchen chairs and they're always about to break. And they're sitting on those to play guitar, and then the drummer's kind of in the background, and this is what their cover sounds like.
Oh no, we're back in again. She's cool, she's hot, she's my friend. I tried for hours and so she left me nowhere to go. She can't stop her.
Someone did a harm, but they didn't have a mic, and I couldn't figure out who did it. Was it like an apparition?
Maybe it's. I mean, the camera is clearly handheld, so there's another person in this cheese puff laden room.
Oh, I just made it go full screen so I could see more detail, and behind the bass player boy is a tower computer laid on its side on top of a futon.
Oh, stuff is so good.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, those Naked Yard Gnomes. I wonder if they have any other videos, especially in this garage. Oh, they did play live. Oh my god. Okay, sorry, we got to do this quickly. Because in the same garage, we get a different angle, a little bit closer, while they play Boxcar Racer.
Oh, okay, yeah, we got to let's listen to this and assess.
Oh, there's another person hanging out in there.
There's a guy just on the futon with his feet up.
Halloween decorations.
Feet up on the garbage bin. I want to see who's just chilling. Are they going to do anything?
It's not, I thought it might be a parent, but it's definitely a friend.
Remember, friends just coming to band practice?
Oh, yeah. Just, sitting there and just, trying not to take up space, I guess.
Yeah, just...
But I love that there's Halloween decorations on the wall, too.
This is such a sick garage.
This was uploaded in August.
Yeah, and it definitely looks like the summer sun is pouring in, but...
Naked Yard Gnomes 2, my favorite account on YouTube. Except for, perhaps, the account belonging to Megan, with an H, Rose, who has uploaded this, which I don't really understand this in any way. But I do feel like there is definitely some weird vibes here as well. This is the band, I guess, is called Little Red Wolf. Little Red Wolf covers Blink-182, but there's sort of there's just a group of people who are aggressively normie. I think that one of the girls is wearing a Pride t-shirt. I think maybe there's, an LGBT element to the video, but it's not very clear. But in general, there's just something that feels very voyeuristic about it again.
It feels like I'm spying on someone's improv class, but first improv class.
Yeah. Yeah, even the way they're sitting on the couch is very improv.
Yeah, it's where's a scenario where people might be jammed in real tight? I know, making a music video for your Blink-182 cover.
I think there's a sketch element, maybe, but this only has 237 views. It's just everything about this song has just brought out a very bizarre energy in the universe.
2, ready, 4.
Smelling the perfume in a magazine while lip syncing.
The lip syncing is so sincere, and there's a lot of eye contact with the camera, which is not comfortable.
I think the premise of this video is that there's not enough room on the couch. It's a very 1993 premise for a video.
But this would have been the best video of 1993.
It's true.
I don't hate how this sounds, though. I usually really like how it sounds. I don't like Day 1 improv class. That's about it.
Yeah, actually, especially the music's produced really nicely.
Yeah.
It sounds very... But what a truly strange video.
Yeah, it was... I eventually just clicked away from it. I couldn't really handle it anymore.
Why does this song bring out such bizarre intimacy? Whether it's this video or, the weird eye contact sounding harms or just the intimacy of knowing what's in someone's garage.
Yeah, like I don't know what's in your garage. I don't ever want to know. It would be too much for us.
I mean, I didn't like the song that much. It's okay. There's cool parts about it. But I was like, whatever. But the song has given me what feels like the classic experience of just feeling bizarre and disgusted by the internet and feeling very tired and scared, which is a feeling I missed from the pod.
Yeah,
so
I feel like it's
been
a while since we sort of tapped into this like incredibly specific emotion, and maybe I missed it too, which like that's fucked up. It's the Stockholm Syndrome episode.
Welcome to Blink 155, to the ever mysterious person who I don't even know where you are or what your real name is, but it's Slow Magic. Welcome.
Hey, what's up?
I was curious because we record audio only specifically for like lag reasons, but then I was thinking like, man, I should have done video to see if you had your mask on while you were Skyping.
Yeah, it's on. It's on and going right now.
Amazing. What's it like to like wear a mask all the time? Are you sick of it? Do you ever like regret it or wish that you'd picked a more breathable design or something?
Yeah, well, like I think there's definitely two sides to it. There's like a really good side where I get to kind of just be something that isn't personal and that I can hide, like I can walk around a show after and no one knows who I am, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, it's heavy and it gets a little hot, but it's worth it. I think it's more fun.
Right. So you are, I think, our first electronic music artist on the pod. I don't want to discredit anyone that I'm forgetting right now. We had Aphex Twin and I forgot or something. I don't think that happened. I'm pretty sure we haven't had this perspective before, but it's weird because like I feel like pop punk and even punk in general has so much in common with electronic music.
Yeah, I feel like at least for me, I grew up around the time I guess Blink was the band, I guess, but like I think I could say a lot of my peers would definitely be influenced by a lot of pop punk, and I guess there's like a simplicity that really resonates through like electronic music.
Yeah, but also there's this kind of battle between purists and then those who are perceived as sellouts, which I think is an interesting thing that you usually associate with punk, but is obviously happening in electronic music or even the dreaded term EDM.
Yeah, I think for all music, I think that's something that's interesting, is that if you make enough money to eat, that you're a sellout, kind
of. So I guess that's what I'm curious about in terms of your own career. Like, has that happened to you before where people are like, oh, you're too successful, this sounds too good, you're a sellout?
I guess so. I mean, I've been doing this for longer than I thought I could, like 8, maybe 9 years this year. So that's crazy to actually just say. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for long enough to like change and get better at music. And I think sometimes people don't like that. And I think that happens with Blink too. Like as a fan of Blink 182, I guess there's times where I wish they weren't so good at what they're doing, because I feel like there's a raw element. And I feel like I can relate to people who feel that way with my music, but I think I'm better now.
Right. And I mean, I think that's like probably literally when I talked to Mark about Blame It On My Youth, which does actually have some EDM elements now that I think about it. But he kind of was like, what do you want me to do? Like, I can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah,
that's funny, because I heard that track and I thought it was amazing. Like, and the guitar intro is what I heard, but then I saw a lot of people saying, what is this synth and what are these EDM sounds? And I'm like, that's a guitar. But yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay, well, let's get into like your upbringing. How did you get introduced to music, and at what point were you, and the question I ask everyone now is like, when did you get into Blink and when were you too cool for Blink, and did you ever come back around?
Awesome. Yeah. So my dad is a musician. He played in like 80s rock bands, and my mom's like an artist, visual artist. So I think that's kind of where I started with what I do now, which is very visual, very musical. I kind of try to do it all. But
was he in like successful 80s rock bands?
Not necessarily. I can just say that I can't reveal, or else it would give too much away about my identity.
Right.
But yeah, I think.
But your dad is Sting.
Yes. Exactly. But don't tell anyone. But yeah, so that's where I kind of started. But I think when I started listening to Blink, I was probably in middle school or something like that. I just remember like the state and then kind of going back and listening to the older stuff. But yeah, I feel like there was something so cool about Blink, because I was like, really my dream was to just be in a band, and I was a drummer. So I feel like Travis Barker was like an idol because he was just like a rock star, but he was a drummer. So I feel like maybe he was the first rock star drummer that I kind of saw that kind of carried the show, I guess. But I guess that was something that was cool to me. And I feel like I just kept listening to Blink, but when was I too cool? I'm trying to think of, I think that as an electronic musician, some moment in my teens, I guess, I decided that rock and all that real instruments was dumb. Just for a short period, I think I thought that I was super into weird and experimental music, and that might have been when I fell off with like the good punk and that kind of stuff. Right.
So what was like the weird stuff that you got into when you were done with organic instruments for a little while?
I mean, you mentioned Aphex Twin. That was something that just, I think, bridged that gap for me. 'Cause he's very musical too, but also very noisy and experimental at times. But other things too, I think like indie, electronic rock, like to me it was not rock, like Phoenix and Passion Pit, but obviously looking back it was very much just good pop rock with weirder sounds. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think when I guess for the past like 5-7 years, I've just been really getting back into Blink and everything like that, and listening to like Boxcar Racer for the first time and realizing that it's just like another Blink album kind of, and just really loving it.
Right. Totally. Well, it's kind of funny because in a way Travis is ultimately like a fucked up drum machine or something. And I feel like that's why he's also on basically, like, I feel like this year every rap song that has come out has had him on it.
Yeah, he's on everything. Except my track, which I'm trying to get that, but no.
But yeah, so maybe there was something about him that brought you back in, because it's like it sounds like someone's producing his beats, which is also weird because whenever I see him listed as a producer on a track, I know that like he definitely doesn't know how to produce a track. He just like showed up and did some crazy beats. Yeah, he is very like robotic, and I was also in Drumline, and I think he was too, or something like that. But yeah, he was. Something about his super good techniques was inspiring. But I think this could be a moment I was kind of drawn back into Blink. So it was a few years back. I was playing a festival, and Travis Barker was playing with some band. It was like a super group of bands. Like I think someone from the Mars Volta was playing with him, and it was like basically my manager at the time was also on the same company as Blink, and so I was able to meet Travis Barker on his tour bus, and it was like so cool. And like I'd been listening to Blink a little bit more before that, but that was a moment that I kind of connected, I think, and it just meeting someone like that was pretty cool. And I think that's when I started getting way back into their discography. Right, totally. So I've been listening to your music all day today, and it's really awesome. And I just kind of noticed that there is sort of like melodically, there's a lot similar. It's not that it's like sounds like pop punk, but there is something like this kind of music that you make and that some of your peers make. There is some similarity in that. It's just like emphasizes being really catchy and memorable, especially the songs that have vocals. Like, can you see that connection at all?
Yeah, I definitely can. I think that like I'm not like a Blink historian like you guys, but I know that someone in the band said something about nursery rhymes and like, you know, stuff like that. And I feel like that's kind of what any good pop or electronic music is nowadays, is like simple melodies that you can just kind of get stuck in your head. And I've always been drawn to those. I think I've always been more melodic than, you know, bass centric or something like a genre even. I've been more just focused on the music and songs. But yeah, I think that the roots are deep with the pop punk and other kind of genres like ska and things like that, that I just can't really escape, I think, even if I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is a bad word to you or not. I have my own opinions. I don't know if this is like the kind of thing that no small producers want to say an opinion on, but I feel like another very important part tying together like big, high production electronic music and Blink-182 is the Chainsmokers.
Yeah, I'm like, I've listened to some of their stuff, but yeah, I think there's a good bridge between the simple progression, simple like melodies. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely respect what they're doing in a lot of ways. I definitely love that Coldplay song they did, like, without being ashamed, I think.
Right. But yeah, I mean, especially the one that broke through where they talk about listening to a Blink-182 song in Tucson, which is maybe the dumbest rhyme of all time. Saying it out loud right now, I'm like, good Lord, I cannot believe they got away with this. But I don't know, that was like just so absurd. And I think that was one of the moments where I was like, oh shit, literally everyone likes Blink-182, but if you like grew up listening to Blink-182 and then got into actual punk, you just assume that like only punks listen to it. But then you're like, this is easily like the most basic grocery store playlist song ever, and they're name dropping Blink-182.
Yeah, I remember hearing that too, and it was like, it was crazy to think. But I do feel like every musician, like every different type of genre maybe that I've run into, there's some connection to Blink, you know, at least in electronic, that I kind of know, and that's cool.
Right. And so what about like the fact that electronic stuff has been sort of co-opted into rock music? And I know like people complain that Blame It On My Youth, for example, sounds like Imagine Dragons, who I'm one of the few people I know who actually likes Imagine Dragons. But, you know, in general, like, in a way, it does feel like electronic music has won and everything has to have trap drums, even if you're in like a rock band.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think I'm like an old man enough to say that when I started doing this, it wasn't mainstream as much, you know, like electronic music wasn't all the songs on the radio at the time. And it is interesting to see that happen and just kind of figure out where it's going. But I think it's cool to see more like guitars become something that's in electronic music and rock and all the kind of crossovers that are happening. I think it's interesting, and yeah, it's crazy.
What about, I think another parallel that I'm kind of making this up as I go along, but another parallel could be that a criticism of Blink-182 or of music like that was that it's too simple, too dumbed down, and too easy to do. And then a lot of people will criticize electronic artists for just essentially hitting play when they play live. I mean, is there something about that that's kind of like, I mean, first of all, what do you do when you're playing live? Are you recreating things live, or are you just like kind of doing that thing where you touch the knob and pretend to turn it but don't actually?
Well, I guess I played drums live, so I feel like I have that going for me. But I mean, and that's something that I've always done, that I just felt like I didn't want to be someone pretending to turn a knob when I started. And I mean, a lot of people have realized that having an exciting show, you need to do more than just kind of turn the knobs, unless you're a DJ specifically.
Yeah.
And a lot of people add like drum pads and drums and even guitars now, which I think is a cool evolution. But yeah, it is simple. I mean, I guess there's always going to be the criticism of something being too simple, but that's what people like, is like something they can relate to. And I think there's something punk about going on stage with a laptop and like just doing whatever you want.
Yeah, it's
on
like
stage.
both things are kind of like a feeling that you're getting away with something.
Yeah, totally. Like, I feel like the cool thing with punk is like bands that the people playing didn't know how to play their instruments, you know, that month. And that's like something cool, I think, about some bands in the punk genre. But yeah.
That rules. Okay, so this week we're talking about Please Take Me Home. I know that Take Off Your Pants and Jacket was kind of like the album that was speaking to you. So what is it about this album that really speaks to you?
Yeah, this, I think that I've been a big Enema of the State like fan. I think when I was younger, I thought that was their best album forever. And I think when I started looking back into things, I realized I kind of just glanced over this album. I kind of didn't see the future, I guess, of things I might not like as much. And I really have been liking every song on this album more, just because I feel like it's like they had kind of this peak with Tom, I guess I'd say, where it just felt like they were just like really going in this energetic and really finely produced pop music way at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you guys have done a lot of the tracks on this record, and I thought this track was one that I just always like to hear. It's like the last one on the record, I think, but it's just still so good, even at the end of the album.
Yeah, it's really like, I remember it as being very basic and simple, but there's some very unique elements going on in the song with some of the guitars and drum patterns and stuff.
Yeah, I love the I guess it's the pre-chorus when there's this cool break drum beat with Travis playing, and it's like, I don't know, something about that's always been cool. And I feel like it's almost like has a lot of differences in the intro, verse and chorus, that I guess with what they're doing, it's very progressive in a way. Like it covers a lot of their sound at the time.
Yeah, totally. For sure. Yeah, it's crazy. It's stressful, actually, that there's these details. Because I always liked writing off this album, too, because I think that the Rock Show and First Date are bad, personally. But
yeah.
So are you, like, do you gravitate? I know it sounds like Travis is actually maybe your boy, but when it comes to the great Mark and Tom dichotomy, where do you gravitate towards?
I guess, yeah, I've been focusing on my drummer buddy, but I really feel like the three of them are just, I feel like it's really like a trifecta. So I don't know if I could choose between Mark and Tom, but I feel like I don't know. Yeah, it's just like, it's kind of like a heads and tails, I feel like, that really complement each other in ways that like a band like Animal Collective has like these two vocalists that just really complement each other.
Oh, fuck yeah. You know, people love to compare Blink-182 to the Beatles, but that's the first time I've ever heard the Anco comparison. I love it.
But I mean, there's a lot of similarities there if you want to get into it.
Please, I mean, let's keep going. I'm trying to think what would be their sung tongs. Probably Enema of the State. It must be.
I mean, I would say Merriweather Post Pavilion would be the Enema of the State.
Okay, you're right.
That would be Untitled or Self-Titled. Sorry.
Well, okay, Sung Tongs is probably the one that like snobs like me say is their favorite. So that I think Sung Tongs must be their Dude Ranch.
Dude Ranch, yeah. Dude Ranch is Sung Tongs. Enema of the State would be Feels, is it? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I know, it's been a while. It's been a while since we were all obsessed as a universe with Animal Collective.
But I guess in this comparison, Panda Bear is kind of the drummer and he sings. So I think we should hear Travis Barker sing and see if he's good.
Wow. Man, I think we're gonna have to like really think about this and map it out. Hopefully, the listeners, someone can drop some Anko knowledge on us, and we can really figure out like the full Animal Collective Blink-182 comparison, because that's beautiful, actually.
Yeah, if someone can make a chart with each of the albums in the discography, and that would be awesome. And then we could do a podcast on that.
I can't even remember like everyone in Animal Collective now. So there's Avi Terra and Panda Bear. I'm thinking
Deacon.
I want to say I still want to say Panda Bear is Tom to me. That feels right.
I feel like Avi Terra, he's a little more energetic. He screams. But yeah, I can see that.
But Panda Bear is also like killing it on the side more than any of the other ones. That's why I was thinking.
That's true. But Mark is kind of subdued, and I feel like Panda Bear is too.
Yeah, shit.
It's very interesting, actually.
It's true. Yeah, that's really something that I'm going to be laying awake thinking about all night tonight. The band, the Animal Collective Blink-182 connection. Actually, I want to ask you, what was Travis like when you met him? Like, what did he say? You said he was nice, but like, I feel like, no offense to anyone who's listening, but I feel like meeting Travis, all you would really say after was, wow, that guy was really nice. Unless you're Nardwuar, in which you would say, that guy was really an asshole to me.
No, I have to be like 100% honest. I met a few people. Some aren't nice in the industry, but he was extremely nice. Brought us, my wife and I, onto his bus, which was amazing. It was like an amazing house on wheels. He showed us his little setup studio in the back. But yeah, he had no idea who I was, as far as I know, but he was kind enough to just chat and, connect on being drummers in a way, and took a photo and all that. So yeah, I mean, I would be pissed if some young electronic dude came onto my bus, but he was so nice.
That rules. That's awesome. So the thing is, like, I've spent so long kind of ignoring electronic music the last maybe 5 to 10 years. There was a time when I was like really obsessed, and then I just kind of like fell by the wayside. And then I started listening to like minimal compact techno compilations and stuff, and just like really got very pretentious with it. But now through doing the podcast, we'll like listen to a hit by Blink-182 and just go on SoundCloud, and there's like 100 beat remixes of it. And because I don't have the like capacity to tell good from bad, because I'm not fluent in the genre, it just all sounds good to me all the time. It's like, it's really weird. So I'm just kind of like, is it just like, is everyone really good at electronic music, or when you listen to like some new person, are there things that bother you about what they're doing?
Yeah, I guess like maybe you're getting the best on like the top of the algorithm, but or maybe the producers who remix Blink are just better. That could be an element, but I guess there are some things that I might find annoying in certain genres of electronic music, and kind of repetitive cliches, but I don't know exactly. Like, I've never really been the EDM or electronic guy that like knows my BPM or my genre. Like, I think a lot of DJs are like very strict with their genre, but I've always just wanted to make songs that sound cool and weird, and like whatever tempo or feeling that I felt like doing at the time. So I'm not really like the electronic musician, like expert. I just kind of started making music because I didn't have enough friends to be in a band at the time. So I just started using my computer.
Right. Okay. So, and also you just seem too nice to really be much of a hater right now. So that's also, it's not going to work. But maybe
it's like, it really comes down to like, if I'm playing a show or meeting peers, if they're nice, their music's better, I guess.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Sucks. Yeah.
So true.
You know what that's like.
I'm thinking, okay, sorry. While we were talking, I opened the Animal Collective discography. I'm thinking Spirit They're Gone, Spirit They're Vanished is like Fly Swatter demo. Dance Manatee is Buddha. Campfire Song's definitely Cheshire Cat. Maybe Here Comes the Indian is also Cheshire Cat. Sung Tongs has got to be Dude Ranch. And then, I don't know, man.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, maybe that would track with Feels being Enema of the State.
Yeah.
Strawberry Jam being Take Off Your Pants, and then Merriweather being
that's
self-titled. And then after that is like everyone's kind of mixed on how they feel about
and
everything.
no one likes anything after that.
Yeah, exactly. I think it works.
Yeah, because Feels is a bit more poppy. They're starting to really embrace that pop sound, and then they really go all in on Merriweather Post Pavilion, just like self-titled. I mean,
yeah, totally. Yeah, because
really good.
I think okay, so you've nailed it. That's probably the most profound thing we've ever had a guest say on the podcast is that Animal Collective is Blink-182.
Well, and thank you. It is true. So
yeah, exactly. So I was trying to set up though. I mean, every remix sounds good to me. I'm hoping that you're going to share with us something that you haven't released yet, / that it's going to teach me like the real nuance of a Blink-182 remix.
yes. So yeah, for I guess a couple years, I've been ending my set with a Blink remix because I just wanted to tie back to like, I guess it'd be my roots, because I feel like electronic music can be kind of, I don't know. I just wanted something that can be fun and kind of punk rock in a way. So I remixed All the Small Things, but yeah, I sent it to you. So whatever you want to do with that, just don't tell any like labels or Universal people or whatever label they're on.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, we only get dinged if we play like Simple Plan for some reason. Like we play little snippets of Blink-182 all the time and it's totally chill. But like shittier pop punk bands, their labels get really mad. I don't know why. Yeah,
that's good. That's a good for you guys then, because you're not doing Simple Plan 32. Yeah, I'm guessing that's how many songs they have.
I think they have a deeper and more robust songography than you realize. But yeah, so we're going to close out with your All the Small Things remix. I cannot wait to play it for everyone. But first, is there anything that you want to plug?
Sure. So I wear a mask, and I just put on sale masks that people can buy that light up. And funny enough, I was binging your guys' podcast while I hand tested each mask in my kitchen. So there's a bit of Blink 155 kind of connected to all these masks, but they react to sound. So your guys' voices were kind of testing the masks,
wow.
If you can believe that.
So did the mask start like short-circuiting because it was so dumb, what we were saying?
Well, I feel like luckily you guys keep talking, so it kept the masks going. And I mean, that's what more could you ask for?
Just
from
like
a podcast?
A constant stream of babbling.
Yeah, no pauses, which was perfect for me. So those are on sale at slowmagicmask.com. And beside that, I just put out some songs. You can find them on wherever you want, Slow Magic. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. All right, here's Slow Magic's remix of All the Small Things.